So I feel like extremely lucky. I don't know if it's my immune system that is like really strong, but I haven't had a UTI in about 4 years. And
Wow. That's
I know, and
nuts.
I have this kind of controversial. Um, I don't know if it's the reason why, but I have a controversial, like I guess, technique.
Cool.
Whereas this is going to sound really bizarre, but I never clean before I insert the catheter. I was
That's
told, so
nuts.
I use these ones that are called the Speedy Cath Compact. And they're
Yep.
like, they have like they have a bag so you can like urinate into a bag. So I never actually need to go to the toilet.
Hmm.
And, obviously I keep myself clean down there, but I don't, I literally just whip it out and stick it in. And,
Wow.
and I know it sounds really crazy, but I don't know. Again, this is really lucky. I don't want people to be like, "Oh, he didn't, clean, and he hasn't had one in 4 years." And then and then whoever's listening to this start do it. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I don't. Again, touch wood. I don't want to tempt fate. But
Right.
when I was in the rehab center, the nurse said, for some reason, she said, with these, you don't have to. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you don't have to clean because the dirt around you is your own dirt and it's fine. And I was like, okay, and I was still skeptical and I would still like use the wipes and clean myself up. And then I saw a
Yeah.
Facebook comment that a guy said, oh, he hadn't did it for many years. And so I kind of just stopped doing it. And then, yeah, I just haven't had one in many, many years now. And
That's crazy.
yeah, I don't know.
That's a good thing. I mean, I've heard of people who like, like, oh, I just spit on the catheter to lube it up and shove it right. It's like grab it by, out of the back seat of the car and shove it in. It's like,
Yeah.
yikes. I use kind of a closed system. Well, it's not even a closed system, but it doesn't have the bag. I've tried
Right.
I've tried the ones you had, but I felt like it was so much that I was throwing away all the time that just made me feel like, I was going to be the contributor to like a giant landfill full of plastic.
Oh,
So
I've had that discussion with myself before. In fact, when I was at my deepest, darkest depression, one of the reasons that I was justifying like killing myself was like, think of the plastic, think of the world, man, think of the plastic that's not going to end up in landfill if I kill myself. Like I use like 8 of these a day. Like
right.
I had like 2 boxes of them delivered to me to like again living in France completely free. Love it, but like 8 of these a day for free, which is amazing.
Damn. See, I pay $1,000 for a 3-month supply, which sucks.
Wow. Is that out of pocket?
Yes. Well, the first time I get it, before the deductible was 1,000, and then it's 190 for any 3 months that I get after that. But I mean, it's literally just plastic tubes, I mean, how
Yeah,
is
yeah.
one of those $8 a piece? It's like, how the hell? It's ridiculous. It's
I get it
stupid.
though. I get it. I mean, like for the benefit of the audience, they have a bag which fills up,
Yeah.
and this tube comes out. I'm not going to I don't want to get that's the sterile tube. I'm not going to get it all the way out because I don't want to put it. I don't want to waste one. But yeah,
Right.
it comes out. It's like telescopic. It comes out. It's like this long, and then you just whoop straight in,
Right.
and then this fills with wee, and then you can dispose of it, and yeah, I get rid of so many of these, like, but again, I think I was told that these ones are the best ones to use if you don't want to have UTIs. For some reason I don't know, but I found that I went to the UK last year and I ran out. I nearly ran out of these because my plane was delayed. So my plane got cancelled and I had to spend an extra weekend in the UK. I put a shout out on a Facebook group and some people gave me some, but they were different ones. They were like, and I tried all these different catheters, ones that go, straight into the toilet, for example, not in a bag. And I remember thinking, oh my God, no wonder people get UTIs. These ones suck.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I've tried all of them, and there's certain ones. One of the things that I hate about catheters are the really slow ones, the ones that, you're sitting there for 10 minutes almost, like barely a dick trickle coming out. And it's like, I don't have time for this, like let's pick it up a little bit. Do you feel like those are pretty quick in and out? I mean, it seemed like earlier when you went, it didn't take very long.
Yeah. I mean, literally, just like, again, because I don't have a cleaning routine, I just literally whip it out, whip it in, and then it fills up, and then I whip it out, and then you can put the lid back on. So you just you just have a bag of wee. And like sometimes I have it's really handy because I can do it in my car, I can do it anywhere that I don't have to go to a toilet. Like I just have a bag of wee and I put it in my bag. Sometimes I come back from poker and I've got like 4 or 5 bags of wee like in my bag, like and I have to empty them when I get home, and when I do it in my bed, for example, when I'm sleeping, I just wake up, I do one and then put it in my drawer. And if I get a bit lazy, maybe there's like 9 or 10 of them in the drawer and I have to like take them all to the toilet and empty them all out.
Wow.
I've just got like piss bags, man.
Yeah. Wow. So like if you're out and about, you don't just rip it open and dump it in the toilet. You actually take it with you. Like if you're
if I
store.
can get to a toilet, but I'm like 9 times out of 10, I've got my backpack on me and I take a little bin bag with me. So I've always got like a bin bag. So I take the bin bag, put the wee bag in the bin bag in case it spills. And then, just, And sometimes I'll be carrying around like 3 or 4 wee bags and sometimes I'll forget about them. And so, yeah.
Wow. Adding some weight.
And yeah, exactly. And then on the subject of UTIs as well, I don't know. Again, I think maybe my immune system is very strong, but sometimes I'll look in the bag and I'll be like, oh, crikey, that looks awful, like cloudy. There'll be sediment in there. And I'll be like, that looks like I've got a UTI. And when I'll empty it out, it will smell funny. And I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. And then all I do is just drink lots of water. And then it just seems to clear up immediately. And as they come out clearer and clearer and clearer. So I don't know if I get mild infections and then just heal from them very quickly. But I don't know, man. Like even, I guess this is going to sound, again, really controversial. Even after sex, like I'll just be like, just straight in there. Like I'm not like fumbling around, it does go straight in the hole. Like,
right.
But yeah, it just seems to, I don't know. It's just, again,
crazy.
Touch wood, man. I feel like maybe I'm on this huge 4-year lucky streak, but that's, I just haven't had one.
Yeah, I think it comes down to just your body too. I mean, some people, like you hear women that get yeast infections all the time and other women that don't, it's like, I think it's kind of a similar situation. I'm assuming, it's weird. It's interesting that the nurse had said that, the bacteria on your skin is like your own bacteria. I've never really heard that before, but that's kind of crazy. So,
well, I heard that like 99% of UTIs come from E. coli, and E. coli is a bacteria that can live safely in your gut, but not in your bladder. So it's basically like, I'm not gonna, like, if I rubbed my catheter on my bum and then stuck it in my, urethra, it would probably, it wouldn't be great. But I think that's maybe why women have are more susceptible to UTIs, because I guess it's like closer
together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I know that women with spinal cord injuries, I think, suffer from UTIs a bit more common than men. Maybe that's a generalization, but it's just what I've heard.
Yeah. I don't know, man. One thing I was going to ask you, like, I always worry about like shoving a pube down into my bladder, or like, a lot of people that can urinate normally, they flush out any of that sediment, so they're not getting, stones and stuff. I always worry that I'm going to wake up one day and have like a big giant stone because I can't really flush that crap out, with shoving a tube in. Have you ever thought about that?
Well, on the subject of pubes, maybe this is it. Like, I am very, very clean shaven down there. It's not something I was going to share on the podcast, but that is something else because again, like it's personal preference, but it's also, again, if I'm going to be shoving tubes down there, I don't want like loads of pubes that could potentially be stuck to the catheter tube. So if it's clean down there, then that's less chance of it happening. But yeah, I do kind of think that sometimes. But at the same time, when I do my bowel program, I wee as well. Like if I touch like the inside of my bum in a certain way, it kind of like releases like wee. So I do like I guess I do get a little bit of a flush out when I poo, but it's not that common, you know. But
yeah. I've had the same thing. Like if I've had a full bladder and I'm doing a bowel program and it's like shooting out the front, I'm like, oh, I probably should have cathed before I took a dump, you know?
Yeah. But sometimes I like it.
Yeah. Well, the other question
kind of like, yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask you, like your routine, your bowel routine. Like, do you do it every other day, or are you an every day kind of guy? And do you have accidents?
I never have accidents. I'm very, very lucky. I never have accidents. I sometimes do it every day. I sometimes do it every other day. Sorry, sometimes I do it every day. Sometimes I do it every other day. Sometimes I do 2 in a day. Like, for example, today, I was in a rush and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a half time on this. I'll come back to it later. You know, it was stubborn. It wouldn't come out. And I was like, you know, I'll come back later. So I'm quite lucky in the fact that I use the manual stimulation. It normally comes out straight away. In fact, we're going back to the morphine and the opiates. One of the things that I didn't like was that it made me constipated. So if I ever get tempted to like, oh, I'll just have a morphine or I'll have like some sort of opiate because like just for shits and giggles, it will make me constipated, and that is enough to put me off. Like not like what's the word? Playing with experimenting or you know just having them recreationally.
Right. Yeah, I dealt with the same thing. I mean, I got so backed up. I mean, I didn't go for like an entire week, and they were like, "Well, this is a problem," you know. So then once it did come out, it was like, "Holy shit!" You know, it's like an explosion once the cork popped.
And what about you? Do you have accidents?
So it's weird. I go through these like bouts where maybe I'll have, 2 in a month, and then I'll go a while that I don't. And then I'll have, it's weird because I do still get them, and I don't know if it has anything to do. There's sometimes that, like for some reason, if I eat a blueberry muffin, I don't know why. I love blueberry muffins, but man, I've had some shit attacks on some blueberry muffins. So I'm like, and it sucks too because my mother-in-law will buy like these boxes of them. I'm like, oh, I want one of those, but I don't want to shit my pants today, so I'm not gonna. But even today, like I started hearing my stomach. Like I was sitting at my desk and it started making some weird, gnarly noises, and I get the sensations I get are more of a tingle in my chest because I can't physically feel when I have to go. But if I feel that tingle and I know I just peed, then I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to go hop on the toilet. And sure enough, it was time to take a dump. So yeah, that's kind of
nice.
That's kind of what I deal with.
Thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
My theory is shit happens, but in my situation, it's kind of a real thing sometimes.
But it absolutely honestly, does, man.
I wouldn't say it's something I have to worry about that much. I do worry if I'm going on like a 6-hour drive somewhere, just because I'm not going to be close to anywhere that I can clean myself up. So I kind of get a little bit of range anxiety, so to speak, from it. Like how far can I go? Course. And if the shit goes down, it's not a good thing.
I have, I think I have the opposite problem. It's harder for me to get it out and I would don't get me wrong, I would much rather have it that way round than the other way round. But yeah, it's harder for me to pass than it is. So for example, if I need to do a poo and I'm like, oh, I need to do a poo, I can like, I'll be like, oh, well, I can definitely go after the gym or after the swimming pool. I'm very, very confident I'm not going to shit myself in the swimming pool. I'll just hold on to it. Yes, so to speak. And so I think I'm very fortunate in that respect,
But you have some control, don't you? Like I know you said you have some feeling.
Yeah, I have feeling and I have sensation. I know when I need to go, but I can't push it out.
Okay.
I have to,
But can you pinch it? Can you hold your butthole shut?
No,
You're
that's
able
the
to do
thing.
that.
My bum hole is like hyper contracted, so it's like, you know, it's tough to like loosen it up
Oh,
manually to allow the poo to come out. It's like, you know, really, you know.
man. Yeah. I have the opposite problem. I feel like it's just like a big windsock, you know, like after that many after that many years of digital stimulation, it's like, man, I got a loose butthole, you know? Maybe that's something you get to look forward to in 15 years, you know, or 10 years.
Oh, maybe.